Hey guys, today I'm going to be filming part 1 of my Q&A video. I just wanted to thank you all for submitting all your questions on YouTube and on Instagram. I got way more than I thought that I would, so I'm not going to be answering every single question that I got, unfortunately. So I'm sorry if I don't answer your question, but I just took 20 of my favorites and I'm going to be answering 10 in this video and 10 in another. I hope you get your question answered. If not, you can just comment below, comment your question, or if you didn't see that video, you can still comment. So I have a notebook right here and I've got some questions written in it, so let's get started. Ever watched a book to movie adaptation before reading the book? I am not proud of this, but I have watched quite a few. I watched Pride and Prejudice, but I feel like most people have watched Pride and Prejudice before they read it. The Book Thief, The Hunger Games, I know. It wasn't by choice. I wasn't allowed to read the book yet, but I was allowed to see the movie because the book is more violent. So this was like a couple years ago, but yeah, I saw the movie first and it's really sad. A Walk to Remember, the last 4 Harry Potters, that's all we're gonna name for now. Ultimate fictional crush. I have quite a few book boyfriends. Number 1 I've always said is Percy Jackson, but I'm just gonna go down the list and these are in order of my favorites. Number 1 is Percy Jackson because Percy is like just the most perfect person in fictional world. Okay. Number 2 is Max and Stree from the Selection series. Next is Liam Stewart from the Darkest Minds trilogy. Then Peeta Mellark from the Hunger Games. Augustus from The Fault in Our Stars. And last but not least, 4 from Divergent. I just love them all so much. They're so perfect. Oh, I can't. Favorite young adult trilogy. I want to say The Hunger Games because it's like the classic. And I really love that trilogy, but as of recently, it has to be The Darkest Minds. I feel like the characters in that series and the story is just so beautiful throughout all 3 books. They're just like also really long, like the Hunger Games books are sort of shorter. How many siblings do you have? I have 8 siblings, 6 brothers, 2 sisters, but I also have 2 sister-in-laws. Will you write a book someday? I really want to write a book someday, but I'm not sure when that's ever gonna happen. What do you want to be when you grow up? Ultimately, I want to be a stay-at-home mom when I, get married someday, and maybe write when I'm doing that. I'm not sure. Do you want to act? I do want to act. I've always had like this interest in acting. It sounds really intriguing and challenging and fun, and I just always loved like the idea of dressing up like somebody else and memorizing lines and pretending to be them and just making movies. Like that sounds like so much fun. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen, honestly, but I really hope so. Favorite TV show? All-time favorite TV show is Doctor Who. I love a lot of TV shows, but ultimately my top 2, like they're equal with each other, is Doctor Who and Little House on the Prairie. They're just both very near to my heart and special to me. Biggest fear? Bugs. I hate bugs. They're like, I don't care if it's a ladybug, I don't care if it's a butterfly. They're little tentacles. Oh my gosh. Okay, no. I hate them. How has reading/booktubing changed your life? It has changed my life in more ways than I ever thought it would. I've met so many incredible people through BookTube, so many of my friends, and introduced to a lot of new books that I have read and loved so much through BookTube. It's also just making YouTube videos has made me more confident. I've always been very like shy and like anxious and just awkward, and I'm still like that, just it's not as bad as it used to be. I just feel like YouTube has really helped me to come out of my shell a lot more, and I'm just really thankful for that. Who inspired you to start booktubing / how did you get into booktubing? The first 2 booktubers that I watched were Pull and Bananas Books and Cass J. Tuck. They're really the ones who inspired me to start a booktube channel, but I still remember how I got into booktubing. I remember the day that I think I was looking up like Percy Jackson fan casting videos on YouTube or something, and I came across a Mark Vathena book review and I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, they're talking about the book, they're talking about scenes in the book and the characters and everything. And I remember distinctly in my mind, that night I went to my mom and I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, there's this community on YouTube of people who talk about books. I kind of freaked out. I was really excited. All-time favorite character? My all-time favorite male character is Percy Jackson from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. My all-time favorite female character, I think is Ruby from The Darkest Minds. I just feel like her character arc is so beautiful, and she's like, I just really relate to her character a lot. So I don't know, her character is very special to me, so she's probably my favorite. And the final question for this video today, because I don't want to make it too long, I will answer 10 more in my next video. If you could only own one book besides the Bible, what would it be? If I have to, maybe The Mark of Athena, because that's one of my all-time favorite books. It's just like, it's 600 pages, and there are all these different POVs. I just like love The Mark of Athena. It's probably my favorite out of both Percy Jackson series. It's just perfect in my eyes. I love that book to death. I've read it 3 times and I still love it just as much, if not more. I just have really fond memories of reading it and rereading it, and I just love it to death. And it's like 600 pages again, so it's like you don't want to pick The Giver for this because that's only like 150, and then you don't get to read much. That is it for my first Q&A video. I've never actually done one of these before, so I hope it was a success. I hope it was a success. I hope you guys enjoyed it and maybe learned a little bit more about me that you didn't know already. And again, if you have any questions, comment them below. It's not too late to ask questions. I will probably be doing a lot more of these in the future. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!